Love, Light, and Roses, and we are doing a card reading. It's very general. There's no topic here. This is just purely spiritual messages from the divine, from our guides, from our angels. We're just going to see what kind of positive divine messages will come through for us today. Make a note that not everything may pertain to you, may resonate, so just focus on what does resonate and let everything else go. And if it just doesn't resonate with you, if it doesn't jive, then most likely the messages are not for you. All right, so let's see what we get here. I feel like already I'm picking up where a lot of you have had hard times lately. This could be the last few weeks or days, even a few months. This could have been the last 2-3 years. So I'm getting even up to 5 years, maybe 10 years that you haven't really had what some people perceive as good luck, or you've just hit one hard time after another, or it seems like you go through some struggles. Let's take finances as an example. You get through it, things are good, and then something else happens. Let's say with months or a year or so in between, it's like you get through one cycle and then go through another cycle of negative things. And know that this doesn't happen for just any odd reason or no reason. There are purposes to this. Yes, some of these things are circumstances, situations, events, people that some of you have manifested because of the types of energy you're holding, fears and other beliefs that you hold and attracting. It's like you focus more on the negative rather than the positive things. So that's what the kind of energy you're holding. And so circumstances come into your life to match that energy. So if you're not familiar with this concept, you may want to look into Abraham Hicks. They do talk about energy and manifestation, particularly in attracting things into your life, changing your life by the type of energy you hold within yourself. And thoughts and emotions are energy. So definitely know to watch how much of the negative you're thinking, feeling, taking time on, focusing on. And it's natural to have those thoughts fly through your mind every so often, or to have those emotions, but the longer you dwell on them and repeat how much you're feeling of them or thinking them, they become habit, and they start to build and build upon energy until they manifest. So do keep abreast of that. The bottom card here is masculine, your divine masculine, your twin or soulmate is seeking you. So a lot of you, yes, this could be romantic, where we're talking about a masculine energy, and it can be male or female. It doesn't always have to be a male. Sometimes some females can be more in their masculine energy rather than their feminine, and vice versa. Men can be more in their sacral or their feminine energy rather than in their solar plexus, which would be considered the masculine. So that's sometimes we're not always balanced in the yin yang energies. So know that there could be someone trying to manifest you as their divine counterpart. Not that they're going in and saying, I want this particular person, but they're seeking their divine counterpart. And that could be you. And I'm getting you could also be seeking them as well. However, some of you, this could be where you're seeking yourself. You're coming into alignment to loving yourself, to accepting yourself, to really wanting to know your whole self, to recreate yourself, to realign your life to who you truly are within. Some of you, that will bring you more in alignment with your masculine energy, because you may have been too much in your feminine. So it's like creating a balance here where you feel a stronger sense of self, where you feel confidence, more courage in who you are, and feeling more assertive to go after your dreams, to pursue, to achieve, to be successful, okay? So a little more actionary energy here. So there could be a development where you're just learning to be more actionary, especially when it's about creating something that you want, manifesting something that you want, whether it's spiritual or in the physical realm, dealing with tangible things like money, career, etc. So we have family. Kids, opinions, judgment, resolve family stress, get support. So a lot of you have been dealing with this type of energy in your lives, or issues, whatever you want to call it. It could be where you even may need to think about hiring in a therapist or a counselor, going to couples therapy, family therapy. I feel like there is an issue with children. It could be dealing with like a court case is coming up, so maybe this is about who is going to be the sole guardian. This is a custody case. Even adoption is coming up. So there could be an expansion of family through adoption or other means. Even natural conception is coming into mind, or we could be talking about some sort of legality, dealing with custody, dealing with children in some sort of way. I'm even picking up maybe advocacy, so dealing with children's advocacy, some sort of social work. I feel like this doesn't necessarily have to be like you or your children going through this. You could be a social worker, you could be an advocate, having to deal with these court cases, and it could be taking a toll on you as a social worker, or whatever role you may play in this type of work. Child CPS, I forget what they say, Child Protective Agency. Yeah. So no matter how you're tied to it, this could be part of like your work stress, which is also tied to family. And others, I'm picking up like that general family stress, where there could be a discord between you and your spouse, or extended family members, just little quarrels, things like that. Denial, repressed emotion, rejection, unable to see below the surface. So a lot of you could be faced with, whether this is tied together or not, with family drama, circumstances, and situations. But this could entail like a miscommunication, things like that. But also denial of truth of yourself. So some of you, this could be because talking about not feeling like you're part of the clan, like you're a soul member of the family, 100%, I'm just like them. This could be where you feel different. You've always felt juxtaposed rather than completely accepted into the family. Like, it gives me this feeling like, I'm so different, how am I related to these people? Or they see you as some sort of othered, like you're not exactly like them. It reminds me of when I was a kid. I was cleaning the living room. My father, no matter how young we were always cleaning. We were never allowed to go outside. And we were always, he had this very, I don't know if you want to call it traditional or what, mindset about women. They were only good for a few things, and mostly that was cooking and cleaning. So me and my sisters were constantly cleaning, never really played or anything. And I just remember I was cleaning the living room while my uncle was visiting, talking to my father, and my uncle just looks up and says, Jamie is not like the rest of us, is not like the rest of the family. And I didn't really like my father's side of the family. They're very... let's just say it's a family of narcissists and other things like that. So I thought to myself, well, I don't want to be like you. But at the same time, it was hard to not be part of the group because you tend to feel alone, right? And like the third wheel in your own family, so the oddball out. So I tended to keep to myself. So it could be issues like that, dealing with family, but also out in society. Maybe you don't always, even among your friends, feel that like you connect, but not really deep within. Otherwise, this is a separate message, I feel, where you're in denial of your truth, of who you are, of what you want to be, what do you want to become, what do you want to pursue. Some of you, it's like you're fighting to keep one type of path rather than, because all the signs and synchronicities are pointing you down this path. But whether you know it or not, so you're doing it intentional or not, it's like you still are traversing this path and there's nothing for you down this path. You've gotten as most out of this life as you can. And that's why it's time for you to diverge and start something new. But you're in denial. I see people like trying to keep up friendships that have no longer have a zest. You know, it's kind of reminds me of when Abraham Hicks says, you know, it's that feeling when you've chewed out all the flavor out of the gum, you know, you're just chewing it. There's no zest there. There's no flavor. Which means there's no really need for you to continue chewing that gum. Because that's the whole point with chewing gum, right? It's just to chew it until you run out of that flavor, until it's out of its, the point, you know, its usage. So some people, it's like this could be talking about a job as well. The job has run its course. Other projects, it could be talking about other types of relationships. Something has run its course and you're in denial of it. It's like, no, I could keep this going. I see a profit here. There's something tangible here for me. Or if I work hard enough or longer, I'll start to see the benefits. You know, I don't want to cut cords or cut ties too soon or altogether, because it's like some of you are worried that once you do, that's when the payout will come. It's kind of like when someone thinks that they're afraid to leave the slot machine too early because they're going to pay out. Well, is it really worth paying out when you've put twice or three times much of money into that slot machine? But you're going to hold out time and time again until you get that little bit of payout. It doesn't make any sense. It's time to move on. So that's what this is really about for a lot of you. That it's time for you to move on. It's time to be true to your feelings, not necessarily to your thoughts, because it's like your thoughts and your fears are trying to keep you on the path that you think is the safest, but it doesn't pay out as much. But I guess because you've been on that road for so long, you know what to expect. I guess there's some sort of guarantee, but it's like staying on a path to dig for more fool's gold. So if you want more fool's gold, I guess you can keep on digging down that road, but it's really time to diverge. We have loss of sense and identity. Discover your true self again. Definitely encouraging you to stop being in denial. And some of you, this may be your chance to really go on an internal journey and dig deep in who you are. I see some people journaling if they're not going on road trips or a short, quick vacation. Some of you may have the money to take off 2 weeks or more to just go somewhere that you really enjoy, or somewhere that you've always wanted to go or do, and you just do it. And this can open up a plethora of ideas and new fresh energy and life within you. Some of you may even meet people that you're destined to meet when you take that plunge, when you take that risk and enjoy yourself. It's like it allows you to open yourself up to get to know yourself. You think of it as perhaps a different self, but I would say it's your true self, because a lot of what's been covering you up before was other people's beliefs, things that you've been trained to believe, feelings, past negative circumstances, maybe childhood. And it's time to let all that go, all of that history, all of that negativity, all that's past and old and worn out in your energy. Some of you are even carrying things that are not even yours. So there's energy that and feelings and emotions that and beliefs that aren't yours, and you're carrying all that junk. But I see a lot of you coming into your truth, into realization, epiphanies, self-awareness, clarity. So, if you feel guided to do something, do it. And trust that everything will be provided for you as you go down this new path. Deception. This is talking about a few people along your path. Mask, illusion, duplicity, look beyond the superficial. Like on here, the denial, unable to see below the surface. You have to see below the surface to look beyond the superficial of what's on top of what's right in front of you. Because there's a lot of people showing face where, oh, we're having a good time, we're being successful, all of this is happening for us, we're very prosperous and happy and joyful, but they're really not. And they're enticing you to go down this way, or trying to persuade you to stay with this job, or hanging that little carrot on a string to keep you going forward with promises, broken promises. It could be a promotion. It could be other types of things that they keep dangling in front of you, a pay raise. These can even be friends or people you consider good people, even if they're just acquaintances, that you wouldn't think would deceive you, but they are. Some people, they deceive you and steal from you by stealing your time. They act like they're there for you, but they're really not. When the chips are down, they're nowhere to be found. But they'll make it known when you're not there, right? They think you're supposed to be. Don't follow their lies. We also need to be aware of self-duplicity, so self-deception and sabotage. Know that you're worthy of success. You're worthy of better things. A lot of you, this is tied to the feelings and thoughts tied to yourself, about yourself. So you believe that subconsciously, even if it's not intentional in your mind, let's say you're not consciously talking negative to and about yourself, there are some beliefs that you've had since childhood that tell you you're not worthy, that tell you you're not a good person, that tell you you can't do this and that, you can't be successful, you can't be prosperous. Even when it comes to certain jobs, let's say you want to be an actress or to sing, the voice in your head tells you you can't, and these are borrowed beliefs from other people in your life, or from TV or society. It could be a combination of things, but there's just some self-delusion and deception here, and self-sabotage. Lessons, knowledge, understanding. Look for the lesson in this situation. When it comes to your past or any negative experiences, circumstances, whatever you want to call them, engagements, if we're talking about engaging other people or things, just know that there's always a lesson hidden within, if it's not obvious. I mean, we could have some obvious lessons, but then there's some things we have to interpret by looking deep within the situation and deep within ourselves. Some of you, this is going to be dealing particularly from the past. So if you're dwelling on things that have happened, whether it's because of regret or guilt you may feel, just know that, the history is history. It's all in the past. It's time to move forward and to let all that go. They were just lessons, okay? And recognize that, you were strong enough to pull through. You had the courage and the bravery, even if you didn't feel like it at the time. But you're wiser now. You're stronger now. And they were all lessons. They weren't a life sentence. Spirit really wants you to move forward. Your guides and angels want you to let all this go. Let go of connections that are connected to the past. Anything that you're holding on, because it's time to stop deceiving yourself. Some people from the past could be holding you back, and you would already know what this is about. This isn't where you're going to have to get a magnifying glass and be Sherlock Holmes to figure out what I'm talking about. No, you're going to know what I'm talking about, or have an inkling or a thought So if you're trying to give yourself a headache to figure out how this pertains to you, it's most likely this message doesn't pertain to you. So that doesn't mean this entire video is not for you. It could be just this particular message. But it's time to really look within, do some healing, some acknowledgement, some self-reflection, and move forward. Mystery, magic, intrigue, suspense. You're entering unknown territory, and that can be very concerning for some people, very scary. That's possibly why some people I think it's worth, even on an unconscious level, to think, well, this is worth deluding myself for, because at least I'll be safe. That's what fear tells you, right? That I can keep walking down this path, and continuing in this pattern with these behaviors, or whatever it is that you know you need to change and let go. Some people, it could be projects. You have these ideas, you want to do this, you want to do that, but you don't do it. Or you start them and then stop because of fear, because you don't believe you're good enough, or whatever the excuse is. The mystery is there, but there's a lot of good things down that path that a lot of you don't want to accept. You deny it because you don't think it can be true. And it could be because of what other people have said along your path, along your way, even in your childhood, or that you've seen of other people. There's some part of you that makes it feel like you aren't enough and can't do it, and therefore you don't. Okay, we have summer. It's time to see the sunny side. Your answers arrive in summer. So for a lot of you, summer is going to be very active. You're going to be pursuing a lot of things. Some of you, I do see you go on vacations. You do start doing things that not only attract more good things into your life, but they're things that you really enjoy or have thought about doing before, but you didn't really engage them at all. This could be something as simple as going and attending museums, fairs, going to the theater, symphony, art shows, anything like that. Horseback riding, maybe you take up sports or some sort of join a team, whatever it is. Learn archery, learn a language. But I see a lot of people maybe socially engaging others more than usual, really putting themselves out there, going to comedy clubs or going to dinner with friends, really shaking up not only your image but your life. Even if it's just a little bit. I see people accepting more of social invitations, where in the past you may have just, always told them no, or, put it out there that you don't attend events, but you start doing that. I feel like some of you, it's because you do have people in your life, regardless if it's now or later, that you meet people, let's say, and they tried to persuade you, and you do. And it's like you give yourself a foot, and the door is kicked wide open, because you realize it was a lot more fun than you thought. Because when you initially, maybe some of you, when you're given invitations, it's like all of this worry comes up in your mind, and you're worried about what this will happen, and what if this happened, what if I'm stuck there and I'm not enjoying myself. It's like all these social fears, but all of that is calmed down and proved wrong when you give it a chance. Some of you come to meet new friends, really good friends that are more in alignment with you and your energy. People who are similar to you, so it's as if you finally met people that you can align to, that you can relate to. Really some nice emotional enjoyment, I feel, for a lot of you. And that's for this summer. Regardless if you're in the northern hemisphere, where summer is almost upon us, or if you're in the southern hemisphere, where you have a bit more time to go, right? Who knows, you may travel somewhere where it's sunny, and that's your summer, even if it's winter where you usually live. Receive, open-minded, abundant, ready. It's time for you to receive. I see summer and some of spring, but mostly summer, being a prosperous time as well for many of you. And this isn't just going to be for money or some sort of achievement or success like that. I see that it's a reception of just things that are good in your life. This could even include romance for some of you, a lot more traveling or opportunities to travel. Some of you, it could be that you end up getting a book signing or some sort of achievement. Some of you, it's like whatever you've done for people in the past, that energy is coming back, feeding to you, bringing you some sort of abundance or prosperity. It's like, for some of you, maybe you're having issues with finances or even getting groceries, and you're getting abundance of food, you're getting abundance of some sort of resource, even if it's people just giving you stuff. All of that in small and large ways are coming back to you, even if it's something as simple as finding money on the ground or things working out where you get to all the green lights, and you miss all the things, the traffic instances that would normally hinder your ability to travel as quickly as you usually do. So this could be, as an example, if going to work in the morning, you hit all the green lights, you get to work a lot earlier than you normally do. You find the right spot at the grocery store or something like that. A lot of good things lining up for you. So know that a lot of you have been owed this, so the universe is really bringing it through, and it's because you've come in greater alignment. You've really worked on yourself, focusing a lot more on good things. Like if you end up feeling negative, you do what you can to bring your mind into a more positive stance, raise your energy, try to feel more good than negative. And so you've really done that work to try to encourage yourself every day. And so even if you just do it for a few minutes, it really has been working. Some of you, if you think about it, you'll realize you do have had a little increase in positivity, and that it is paying off. It's like if you keep going and really let go of the past, you'll see a greater reception happen for you, as if instead of a crack, you're getting a whole windfall of things coming into your life, right? Manifestations. Alrighty. Let's see. For romance, what does Spirit give us? What do we need to know for romance? Couples and singles. Couples and singles. So a lot of you are coming into reception with your divine counterpart. So this, if you want to interpret it as your soulmate, twin flame, everyone has their own definition and meaning, but the thought is, someone who is energetically and spiritually aligned to you, the person you're destined to be with, if that was assigned to you in this lifetime. To your life plan. So let's see. Alrighty. The bottom card is worth waiting for. Divine timing is at work in your love life. So I'm going to put this out. I do feel like we need to take this as well. And this. So worth waiting for. A lot of you can seem to be in a hurry or impatient. And a lot of you, that's because you not only really want to meet your divine counterpart or be in a relationship, but some of you can already have been supposedly waiting for months or years already. Particularly, I'm feeling more years, so it's like you kind of are starting to feel that, I wouldn't call it desperation, but it could be on the borderline of frustration, because you feel like you've possibly already been waiting so much longer. How much longer can it be? I feel like for those where this pertains to, a lot of you, you're actually right there before the door opens. In fact, there's a crack coming through. You're about to meet your divine counterpart within the next 2 to 3 months. They're giving me a picture of someone exercising. It's like, I want to exercise and lose weight first. Some of you will. It may not be all of the weight you want to lose, but I feel like if you really start now or determined, raising your energy will definitely help with that. But also changing your diet, changing other things. It's not just, how much you can, calories you cannot eat, and how much you can exercise. It's also, your thought process. How much do you believe that you can naturally just lose the weight? Because, it's all about your belief. If you believe that your body doesn't lose weight a lot, or that it's hard for you to lose weight, then it will be hard for you to lose weight, regardless if you have a thyroid issue or not. So, trust that things will work out for you, but you are on the verge of, within the next few months, meeting them. That's why that summer card may pertain to those who relate to this card here. Some of you, not everyone, but you may have already encountered them already. Could be from a distance, from afar. You just didn't know that it was them. Because I see this aha moment when y'all do cross paths. It's like, I've seen you before. Oh my God. It could have been like 4 or 5, 6 weeks earlier, when you do meet. And you're like, I saw you out and blah, blah, blah. But I didn't know. Others, it's like this is a secret admirer type thing. So they may have had you on their radar. Not that they knew that you were their divine counterpart. They may have had a crush on you, but just kept their distance, maybe because they didn't think they were worthy, or has some sort of fear, whatever, or things didn't align. Like meeting you, making, try to, I don't know, meet you. It just seemed like there's the energy, just something couldn't work out. In their minds, it didn't work out. It wasn't the best timing. So they put it off. Okay. It also could have entailed where they probably thought you weren't interested in them. So regardless, some of you may have unintentionally, unknowingly met before. Others, this could have been, oh my gosh. I was looking at this card when I started to get this feeling. It could have been that you met in a past life. That you've had several lifetimes before together. Some of you may not always be as a romantic partner. It could have been that you were siblings at one point. And picking up an energy where someone in this lifetime, they are meant to be spouses or lovers. But in another lifetime, they were brother and sister, or cousins, or even father, mother, whatever. It's like you switch roles a lot, whether it's immediate family role or a distant relative role. Some of you, even, you were just friends in another life. But in some form or fashion, you've met before, whether in the past lifetime, or you just didn't know you had met before in this lifetime. Okay? That's not going to be everybody. Just want to reiterate that. Retreat, it's time to disconnect from the world. So some of you, once you meet, it's like your energies are all up in each other, and it's like you just want to get to know each other. Others, it's like, let's go on vacation, let's go do this and this and that, and it's, you just go on your own together, getting to know each other, doing activities together, one-on-one type things. Some of you, it's like you put the brakes on. You not necessarily want to be together right off. There's this fearful energy, a trust issue. So it's like, let's become friends first, get to know each other. If we do have feelings for each other, then we'll progress our relationship. So it just depends on how that goes and how this relates to you. Calling in your soulmate, your prayers, affirmations, and visualizations help bring you together. So yes, all of that, if you work with yourself, you can raise your energy and clear your field and mindset, and it can help it be easier for the universe to help you manifest that meeting with your soulmate, with your divine counterpart. Some of you, your divine counterpart is your inner self. So that's going to be your source energy, your divine part of yourself. It's like you're calling in yourself. You get to know yourself. This is for those, particularly I'm feeling, where you're on the cusp, if not already, of a spiritual awakening. And this could be your first spiritual awakening, or one of the first few that you've had. So you're kind of like on the beginning of your spiritual journey. Maybe you're just figuring out that you're a light worker, or an empath, or a starseed, or something. Or, or maybe you haven't gotten that far yet on your journey, but you're kind of dabbling in things, or looking and researching things, looking into things. You just have some questions. So this is about getting to know your divine self, getting to know who you are, meeting that person, coming to terms. Some of you, there's this, I feel it in the solar plexus, it's really a struggle. It's like it's hard for you to believe that you're a good person, that you're a light worker, or you have some sort of divine connection, because in your mind, and this could be because of whatever negative upbringing you've had, or religious upbringing you may have had, or some other spiritual teachings you may have had. Maybe you've ran into the wrong person and they claim themselves to be a light worker or a good witch or something, but they were not. They were negative and they taught you all the wrong things, and you've had horrible experiences. Whatever the deal is, someone has taught you that you are not a good person in one way or another, that you're horrible and bad. And so you've got to work through that, even if you have to go to therapy, whatever feels best for you. But know that Spirit loves you, that things happen for a reason. You can get through this. And sometimes we go through these situations, whether we've manifested for ourselves or not, to prove to ourselves who we really are. Because at the end of the day, no matter how many times someone tells you you're this or that, or you feel bad or whatever, it's what you choose. It's your choice that matters. And it'll take time, but eventually you can change your mental habits, you can change your emotional habits, you can change your physical habits, right? And really come into who you are, who you know yourself to be within. It's all about your choice. So some of you, it's like you're being faced with situations that have you really look at yourself, reflect on yourself, who you are, who you want to be, and give you the choice, what is the word? Basically gives you the ultimatum, in a way, of asking you who you're going to be. Are you going to allow circumstances, other people's ideas and feelings that you may have borrowed from other people to make you believe that you're whatever it is, that you're good or bad or blah, 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 that it's impossible to change? It's up to you. And if you choose that I want to change for the better, that I'm a good person or whatever it is, the source energy, the universe, your guides, angels, they will help you use that energy to manifest, attract, bring in resources, people, other things that you may need, that you're open to at that moment, to help you. Okay, it may not be all instantaneous, it may take some time, but you can and will get through that. Okay, so let's start with these here. So everyone, this is Benji. He just hopped onto my table. He likes to do that every so often when I have readings. He likes to lend his energy, my little starseed. Alrighty. You're gonna help me with this reading, Benji? Probably not, he says. Yeah, he's about to leave. All right, the last video I made, he visited twice. Came back at all the important parts, didn't you? Yes, you did. I guess you're staying, huh? Alrighty. Alright, Benji. Let's see what we get for them. Oh, you're like, I'm not in for this. cards is where you draw the line, huh? Alrighty. Thank you, love. I'll see you later on. Alrighty. Oh, bottom card is open. Say yes. Open, not broken. Trust life. And this seems to be half, so we'll see. It's called the second bloom, second chance, new possibilities. So even if you feel like you've gone down a troubled road and there's no way back, that second chance that we looked at, I feel like that would be for you. There's always a second chance if you allow it. And I'm talking about those where you're really looking in upon yourself, reflecting on yourself. You need to forgive yourself. Some of you, this is dealing with the past. So kind of like before when I was talking about you still holding on to the past. This could be memories, emotions, having dreams about the past. It's time to really let them go and know that you can give yourself a second chance through forgiveness. That doesn't mean you have to talk to anybody who's been involved in whatever this is, but you do have to come to terms with yourself and to accept yourself and to forgive yourself in the situation. Let's start with this card. After the rain, silver lining, hope, it's over, mercy. Yes, the past is over. We have that rainbow, right, after a storm. Spirit says it's over. It's been over for some of you. It's been years since whatever is holding you back has happened. You really need to let it go. Once you let this go and free yourself, it's like there's a floodgate in the heart space of all this wonderful energy, of this love, of this prosperity, of this joy coming into your life. People you never thought you would meet who really truly do love you. It's like it's time to give up that deception that you're not lovable, that you can't be loved, that you're not worthy of love, or it's this concept that of what the type of person you think you are. You're not that person anymore. Okay, you've got to let those concepts, those negative thoughts about yourself, negative beliefs, you're no longer your past, and that includes your past self. Codes of the seeds. The blueprint is within. The next step. So you know what to do. You're guided by source energy, by the universe, by your guides and the angels, by your own divine self within your heart space. So it's all about trusting your intuition, the messages you receive within yourself. And a lot of those are going to be the ones that you feel excited about, that it's those intuitive nudges that don't let you go. They don't feel negative or anything, but you keep thinking about them, keep feeling them, keep going back to them, right? So it's like really trusting yourself and being more proactive in how you follow that intuition, right? Really trusting yourself. The rose garden, innocence, forgiveness, self-kindness. This goes back to what I picked up before, that energy of forgiving yourself. For some of you, you also need to forgive others. Not that you have to find them, like I said, and tell them face to face or through a text or whatever. But, if you want to, that's your prerogative. But it's like it's time to just let it go, forgive them and let it go. It's not about forgiving in the way of accepting what happened and accepting them, but at least just forgiving them to give yourself some peace, because you can't change the history, but you can change how you're feeling about it, how you think about it, and you can choose to let all of that go, because your future, the love for yourself, the joy of what you deserve in life is more important than holding on to the negative things that has happened in the past. Because it's what blocks your energy, it holds you back, it impedes you from going forward, just keeps you looking back. Because every time you think about something of the past, you're reliving it in your mind. So in your mind doesn't know past to be past. When it thinks of things, your body reacts. You know, when you think of something scary in the past, don't you find your heartbeat raising, right? Rising. Your blood pressure rushes a little bit. You get that fearful or nauseated gut rush. So your body reacts as if it's happening. It's the same thing when you think of someone you love. Let's say a romantic partner. Don't you sometimes get a little turned on when you think about them? Your body's reacting as if it's in motion, as if you're in present time. So in your mind, when you think of the past, but including negative things, negative people, it keeps them and those circumstances alive and running in present emotion, present time, in your mind. That's why it can be both the past and the present, and it can still affect you on many levels, whether in spiritual form or physical form. So forgive and move forward, be kind to yourself, love yourself, trust yourself, and move forward. Do what you can to promote your healing, your well-being, even if you have to seek medical help or see a coach of some sort, whatever it is. Some of you even decide I'm going to do a health regimen. You go running or walking and whatnot. I see this one's called Sophia, Divine Plan, Wisdom, Destiny. So this rose just, I feel a lot of loving energies. It can be romantic. I'm also picking up platonic and self-love as well. A lot of you that along your path or have been walking along your path for the past few months to years, you've been dealing with lessons with love, lessons with relationships, and romance. It just depends on your path. A lot of you, it's about creating and maintaining boundaries with others. But a lot of you, no matter what lessons entail for you, it's also been about self-love. That self-appreciation, that self-protection as well, knowing the balance for each, not overdoing it, because you do want to protect yourself and have boundaries, but you don't want to seal yourself off completely either. So it's about maintaining that balance, as well as, having love for yourself. And so I see a lot of you have actually progressed a lot when it comes to those types of lessons and topics. You've really become stronger and being encouraged. And that's what a lot of this has been about for many of you. And it'll continue to be so, just in a new fashion, but not so much as a test of your character per se, or your strength, but it's like it helps you to unfold to where you are more of your true divine self, rather than the mask you've been wearing, up until now. We have the Anointed, Answer the Call, Leadership, Soul Gifts. So a lot of you do have spiritual and psychic gifts, emotional gifts too. It's like, that gift of healing that, psychiatrists can do, counselors can give through talk and reception, acceptance, sitting there and listening, that active listening. And it's funny because I'm looking at a cup that's on my desk, and my eyes just landed on this part of the sentence, not the entire sentence, but the part of it that I saw said listening to you. And Spirit does listen to you. Some of you, I brought that up because it feels like you may have questioned if Spirit, or some of you, I feel like you may call Spirit God. Everyone has their own phrasing and terminology, but know that the divine is always with you and does listen to you, and they're calling you home. Some of you, like I started to say, you do have gifts. It's time for you to use them, and this is for those where you really feel called to it, where this message will resonate. You probably have heard this many times before, and you actually already know. I'm just confirming this for you. It's time for you to step into that leadership. Some of you, this is not just about spirituality. I feel like this could be pertaining to some people in their job. It's, you've been questioning about a managerial position. You really want to go for it, but you just question, go for it. If you feel like this is a really good idea and you're excited about it, then that's good for you. Some of you, you've been thinking about cutting ties with your work and doing something else. This could even be about starting your own business, or I see people joining a nonprofit or something else, projects. You're being called, and this is for some of you where you've been asking directly. Yes, the answer is yes, and you already know, because you already feel that joy within yourself. You're just wanting someone to confirm and validate for you, but you need to learn to trust yourself, because you are your own healer, you are your own oracle, you know what's best for you. So trust what you feel and know. All right, we have the bud potential. It's happening. Keep going. Some of you, you've really taken risk and decided, I'm going to move forward. So you've already started. You could be a few weeks in, a few months in, maybe even up to almost a year or so. But you're starting to see a little bit of progress. Keep going, even if you feel like you're starting to wane back into old habits and behavior. Just keep going. It's okay, because some people, that's normal. You gotta just release that old energy, whatever remnant energy you're dealing with, and just keep going. But you're loved and supported. And we have rose without thorns, joy, peace, sweetness of life. A lot of you, you're coming into this energy. It reminds me, for those in the northern hemisphere, we're coming into spring and summer. And we have that abundant energy, that actionary life force, and it just reminds me of that. So where you've worked so hard through the fall and winter, and now you've come back into the light. And so this kind of correlates with the energy that I'm seeing for you. It's like now you're really coming into yourself, really coming into that joy of knowing yourself, of manifestation. It's like just having yourself surrounded by merriment and just a lot of happiness. And this starts with yourself. So loving yourself, being there for yourself, not being afraid to step out of your comfort zone and going after what you want, what you feel guided to do. So know that as you pursue your divine self and fulfill what you're called to do intuitively, or sometimes you're called to make changes in your life that scare you, or even if it's something big like changing jobs or relocating somewhere. But know and trust that when you follow your heart and what you feel like you're being guided to do, you'll find that ultimate happiness, and it leads you to another happy thing and another happy thing and another happy thing. And next thing you know, you have a totally new life, after doing all these changes and following your heart. So these are your messages, everyone. Thank you for stopping by. I trust this helped you. Support this channel by liking this video and subscribing. And I will see you next time. Take care.